Good morning, happy Monday. Oh my goodness, I am so tired and not ready for the day or the week. Honestly, I feel like 2 days for the weekend is really not enough. Last week was kind of rough, not gonna lie. I have my first IEP meeting today, which I'm a little nervous about. Luckily, the lead Sped teacher told me that she'll lead it and facilitate it just so I can see how they do them here. And then I also have a 3-year IEP tomorrow that starts at 7:15, which it's 7:15 right now. So tomorrow at this time, I will be in an IEP meeting. And yeah, I just feel like I already feel drained and the day hasn't even started yet. So that's not good, but hopefully today will go well and this week will go well. Also, if you're new here, hi, I'm Sophie and I'm a kindergarten and first grade special education teacher. So I am going to just take you guys through a week of my life in this video. So I'm going to try to vlog every day. Today I got to school nice and early. It's 7:15. I'm going to look over my slides for the week. I made all my slides for the week last night because I just did not do any work over the weekend. So I'm going to look over my slides for the week, make sure everything is ready. Our letter of the day, our first letter of the week is F. So I printed and laminated our anchor chart posters. And then I just need to cut out our other F cards, and I put them on the pocket chart on the back wall. So then when we're doing our small groups for centers, we can reference them and say all the words and practice flag starts with F, flag, the whole drill. And then our second letter of the week that will start on Wednesday is G. So I have my G posters and then the G cards. So we will get those cut and ready for the week. Trying to think what else. Oh, I changed how I'm going to do centers. So I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. So if you follow me on Instagram, I talked about how I did centers, and I was thinking about changing them up, and I talked to my TAs and they agreed that we shouldn't really change them up because the structure works really well. I feel especially in a self-contained special ed class, you need structure, and our day is very, very structured because otherwise it's just going to be chaos. And honestly, a lot of times or sometimes it is chaos even when you have structure because you have behaviors and things don't always go to plan, and that's fine, but it's good to at least have a plan and have a structure so the kids know what to expect. And so last week we have 3 centers that we do each day, and we switch, we rotate through them and we do them in the afternoon. So one of the centers is teacher table with me, and so we normally do a letter of the day worksheet. Our packet, which is normally we do the first day, is dotting the letter with dot paints, which they all can do and they love that, and then dotting pictures that start with the letter of the week sound. And then with my highest group, with my first graders, we work on decoding words and making words. And then just depending on the different groups, I work on different skills. And also my first graders can sit longer than my TK and kinder students. So the second part of our teacher table group just depends on their IEP goals and how long they can sit for. So that's the first center that we do. The second center is a sensory bin. So last week we did pom-poms, which I still have the pom-poms in there, so I think we're gonna stick with that. I'll show you what it looks like. So in one of my 10-drawer carts, it's a sensory bin. So in here I have pom-poms. We have different sizes of pom-poms. We have ones that are like this. And so for the first couple minutes of the center, I let them just play with the pom-poms and touch them. I do have a few students who like to take the pom-poms and throw them everywhere and dump it out. And I think twice last week, 2 different students decided to throw the pom-poms everywhere. And some of them are real small. So there were pom-poms literally everywhere, and they like to just throw them and then leave them there. So that was fun. Made me not want to do this, but the kids who do it really like it, and I feel they do get a lot out of it. And I also don't want to have to take away all of the fun stuff. I want my students who do throw things to learn that that's not okay, we can't throw things. And then I have these letter cards, and so first they play with it, then they take out the letter card, and my para who runs that center will say what letter is this? So they review the letter, review the sound. Sometimes she'll say do you know a word that starts with A? And then they'll take the little tweezers and they practice their fine motor skills. And so they'll take it and they'll build the letters. And it's just good fine motor skills. It's good with reviewing the letters and the sounds. So I like this one. The one before this, I had kinetic sand in here, and same problem. Sometimes the sand would go everywhere, but they would get to play with the sand. And then I put my mini erasers, and I had like mini objects for the different letters of the day, and so they'd take out the letters and name the letters, and then I would have a worksheet where they would stamp the letters that they picked, and then they would just like pick up the different objects and say what they were. 2 centers that I'm going to keep. The third center that we did was a social skill center, so I would have a different game. Last week we played Lucky Ducks, the week before that was Candyland, and then the week before that was Don't Break the Ice. And I really like doing that because it teaches the kids like different social skills and turn taking and how to play the games. But honestly, like, there were really only a few kids who actually would like play the games correctly and like get something out of it. So that's the center that I'm changing. So instead of that, we're gonna do a math center and like math manipulatives, because this was actually one of my TA's idea, because I have a ton of math manipulatives. So I have like the little counting bears, the colored bears, I have blocks, I have cubes, I have little like sorting shapes. And so for the last center, I'm going to just put a bunch of the manipulatives out on the carpet and have one of my TAs just kind of like sit there and guide them. And so my kids who have one-to-one TAs, they'll just work on their IEP goals like with the manipulatives, because a lot of them are like count to 10, one-to-one correspondence using the manipulatives or whatever it may be. So I'm going to have them just work on their IEP goals, and then my other kids, it's kind of like, you know, they get to play, but then they're also working on some kind of skill. And that way we have like an ELA center with me and then a math center independently or with the TA. So we'll see how that goes. And then last week on Friday, we did like a fun Friday. And so instead of having centered or structured centers, I just put a bunch of games out. And so we had like the 3 games that we learned, I put out on the carpet. And then I had a sensory bin full of Orbeez outside, which was a big hit. So I think I'm going to do that again, just because the kids have been working so hard, and we do get like so much done every day. Knock on wood, hopefully this week is also productive. But I mean, my kids who IEPs are coming up, like they're reading words, they're identifying all their letters, they're able to count. Some of them are working on addition. So like they really have been working super hard during the week, and I've already seen so much progress. So I feel like Fridays, instead of having that structured teacher center, sensory center, whatever, we're just going to have like a fun sensory center. So like the Orbeez, and then I'll put out the games, and so they can work on social skills and playing games. So that's the plan for this week. I'm looking at my back table and I can see a whiteboard marker was left out without a cap on. And of course, one of my students loves to write with whiteboard markers but never puts the cap back on, and we've already gone through so many. And I'm like, I can't keep buying more, so we need to remember to put the caps on because we're gonna run out. So I guarantee that's dried out now. So I hid the rest of the whiteboard markers because they don't get to use them if they're not using them appropriately. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to update you guys on now. I think I'm just gonna like sit here and quiet for like 10 minutes and just prepare myself for the day. Like I'm not ready, like mentally, physically. So we're just gonna relax, take a chill pill, and do some meditation before the day starts and the craziness begins. So cheers to Monday. I will check in with you guys later. I have 10 bears? Okay, open up to page 23. Hi guys, I'm in my car driving home, and I thought I would quickly just update you about today. The morning went by really fast because the kids had PE, and then my first graders right after PE went to a special. So it was really nice when they came back because I only had 4 kids. I had my TK and kinders, so it was like so quiet and so calm, and we sang our morning songs, did morning meeting, then they did some iReady, so it was nice because I was able to actually like sit with them and support them, and it was way less chaotic, so that was really nice. And then we went to recess. After recess we finished phonics with the rest of the class since my first graders had missed our phonics lesson. And then we did some math, and I did a small group math lesson with 2 of my first graders, and it went really well because our lesson on Friday was like chaotic because they just interrupt constantly and are just like so ADHD where it's just so hard to get them to focus. But I made these math toolboxes, which I'll show you tomorrow because I forgot to show you today and I already left school. But basically in them I have these little counting bears, I have Play-Doh, I have cubes, and so I took out the bears because we were working on addition and counting on, so I like took out like 5 bears, and I was like, how many bears is this? And they counted, and I said, and I just got this many more bears, and I put them out. I was like, how many bears do I have all together? And then they were like 5 plus 3 is 8, so it was really good. And then we did like a page or two in their workbook where it was like 5 plus 3, and it showed a picture, and it was like counting on was the strategy. So they did that, and they did a really nice job with that, and I wanted one of my girls to come join, and she finally did at the end, but then I gave her like a smelly marker to do her work. She didn't want to do it, but then she ended up drawing on herself and then spent the rest of the time soaking her arm in water because she wanted to get the mark off. So that was fine. And then it's really the afternoon that was rough, partly because our afternoon is just so long because they come back from lunch at 11:30 and then our day ends at 2. But we did do centers. We did our new math center today, which went pretty well. I think I wasn't over there because I was doing the teacher center, but it seemed like the kids had fun, like with the different games and manipulatives that I put out. I'll show you what I put out tomorrow because I don't think I vlogged that today, and not at school. So I'll show you that tomorrow, but that went pretty well. And then I'm trying to think what else. And then, yeah, the afternoon we just had a lot of screaming, which, always fun. And just, some behaviors like we do in special ed. So it was just very exhausting, and I'm very, very tired. So, yeah, I'm excited to just be home. I have a 7:15 a.m. IEP appointment. Oh, also my IEP this morning went well. So very happy about that. It was honestly really short because the only other provider was speech, and it was only a 30-day IEP, so it wasn't too bad. And mom was like on board with everything, so it went well. And yeah, so tomorrow I have to be at school 7:15 because IEP meeting. And then it's also one of my TA's birthdays tomorrow, so I want to get him Starbucks in the morning, but then I'm going to have to get up so early tomorrow, but it's fine. And then I'm going to try to stop at like Ralph's or something later and get like cookies or cupcakes or something for his birthday so we can celebrate that in the afternoon. But yeah, so that was my day. I would give today, how would I rate it? I would say today was a 5 out of 10 because our morning was really, really good. It was nice to have the specials. My IEP meeting went well, math went well, centers went okay, but the afternoon kind of was not good at all. So the afternoon was like a 2 out of 10, and the morning was an 8 out of 10. So I feel like that averages out to like a 5. Okay, well, I am gonna go. I'm gonna go home, play with my doggy, and just chill. So I will see you tomorrow. Hello, happy Tuesday. My last student just left for the day, and I'm about to head out too because I'm going to get my eyebrows done that desperately need to be done. So I gotta go, but I thought I'd give you a quick update of today. So I had my IEP meeting this morning. It went really, really well. I facilitated the whole thing by myself, so it was like my first ever IEP facilitating everything by myself, and there was like 3 or 4 service providers there, so there was a lot of people. So it went really long, but it was a great meeting. And then after that, my kids came in. We did phonics, we did calendar, they went to recess. Then when they came back in from recess, I normally do math during that time, but when my first graders came back, they had done math in the morning with their gen ed teacher, and the rest of my kids were getting pulled for OT, so I decided to do like a big chunk of reading with them, because normally I just do reading during a little bit in the morning after we do phonics and writing, and then during centers, but I decided to do it then, and it went so well. So here, I'll show you what we did. My little bucket that has all of my stuff that we use in centers. We normally do word mapping, and so we practice. I have these little poppets that I made into 10 frames, but we use these for like blending words. So we'll say like cat, at, and then pop it. We'll tap the sounds usually with our fingers, and then we'll write the word. So we normally do that, but we didn't do that today. Instead, we went over our sight words. So I have our word cards. A lot of them are hanging on the pink pocket chart, so I referenced those, and then I just hold them up, and they did so good. They remembered their sight words, so I was very impressed and excited about that. Oh, I put it back over there. Hold on. I swear I get so many steps a day because I like put something down and then I have to go get it from somewhere else in the classroom. So then I did these CVC read and match, which I made. They're in my TPT store if you're interested, but they look like this. So it says circle the correct picture. With me, I just had him read the word and then point to it, but I had my other student in the group. He did this as like an independent assessment to see if he could actually read the words a few weeks ago. So I had him just read it to himself and then circle the pictures, and then I just checked it. And so he read like 10 CVC words because we're working on blending, and so he'd just read it. And to start off, because he's still working on blending, I would say at, and then he would do it with me and then point to the word. So I did that with him after we reviewed our sight words. We did our Haggerty phonemic awareness, and then after that I had them work on writing, which that is at my desk. So I'm gonna get up and go show you that now. Oh, also while I'm over here, because I remembered yesterday, I want to tell you about my math toolkits. Here they are. So I keep all of them in here because I only have 8 kids. And so choose one without a name on it. So they look like this. It says blanks my math toolkit, and then I try to keep it like I give each student their toolkit just in case they lose something. Then it's in their own and no one else gets affected by it. So yes, but some of them don't have a name, and this one I'm seeing they did not put their Play-Doh back in the Play-Doh tub, so now it's going to be dry. So if it had a name on it, I know who it was, but of course it's a no-name one. Actually, I do know whose this is. So anywho, inside they have, oh my gosh, this one's a Hot Mess Express. Actually, this one is like missing half the stuff. Hold on, it's not a goal to show you. Okay, this one has everything. Okay, block the same, but it says my math toolkit. And then inside is all of these lovely things. So they have these counters. They have 2 colors of 10 blocks, a whiteboard marker, Play-Doh, and then counting bears. And so for the lesson, like I would start off by saying, how many bears do I have? They'd count it. Okay, now I have this many more bears. How many bears do I have? For some of them, just whatever they're working on, they can use those manipulatives, and it's really nice because then, you know, it's labeled, so it's really quick to give them out, and then those are all their manipulatives, so we're not fighting over them. They know where they go, and then I don't have to like get up and be like, oh, I want Play-Doh, oh, I want blocks now. Like, it's all just right here. So I think I got these. They're from Sweet Firsty Fun on Instagram. Highly recommend. Okay, now I'm gonna go back to my desk and show you the last thing, and then I'm gonna head out. Okay, so the last thing that we did, we worked on writing, and I made these like vocabulary sheets, so it has all the different words, and then the ones that they did I sent home. I had them on my computer. Let's see, I know I went out of it. Where is it? Oh, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to show you on my computer. Alright, so this is what the vocabulary sheet looks like, and then they did this where they traced the word, and this they did really good with, and then now they were working on this. Obviously I don't know how to spell the word, so I'd have them look at this or look at the one they traced and try to write it, and that definitely was more challenging, but it's good to see like where they're at with writing words on their own, because with tracing, one of them can get a little sloppy, but they're really pretty good about tracing the words. It's good to see like, can they write on their own? How is their penmanship, their handwriting? So one of them finished it, one of them didn't quite finish it, so we're going to finish this tomorrow. And then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to print another copy at home, and then I'm going to laminate it and cut out the cards, and then I want to try to make a writing center. I'm trying to figure out where I want to put it in here, but basically I have another pocket chart that I'm not using, so I think I'm going to like cut the words and then put them in the pocket chart. And then in this like bundle that I made, it's just like a sheet that has the vocabulary words in picture and then black and white of tracing the words and writing the words. But I think maybe tonight I'm gonna make some like sentence templates, because I have another sentence template that I made. Let me see if it's in here. So it looks like this. It says like 3 words that are sight words, and then a word with, or a box with words that have pictures, so I can write, sing, or play, and then they would write it on the line. And so I have 2 versions. One is where they just choose 1 word and then they draw a picture, and then another one that has 3 lines, so they'll write each sentence. And one of my kids did it last week, and they did really good with me guiding them. But again, if I tell them to do it independently, like with me, he did it with pencil, it looked great, and then he did it on his own, and it was like with the yellow crayon and scribble. So I have to sit with them and do it, otherwise it just doesn't get done correctly, which is fine, but hopefully eventually they'll be able to do it by themselves. So I think I'm going to add something that like kind of looks like this, just maybe with like sentence stems and then with these words, so students can like work up to writing sentences. And so I have like different ones. I have a school vocabulary, weather, and then I also have like fall. I have a fall vocabulary one and fall write the room. So it kind of would go together. So I might have like the fall vocabulary center, writing center that has like all the word cards, and then they could practice like tracing the words and writing the words, and then also have them do like the write the room as another activity, and then have like a sentence, like building sentences, because one of their IEP goals is to be able to like write sentences using a word bank. So we'll try it out and see how it goes. If you teach writing in kinder and first grade, especially with kids with special needs, let me know what you guys do, because I don't really have like a writing curriculum that we use, at least not that I know of. So I'm just kind of like making my own stuff and seeing how it works. I also bought a bundle from that Kinder Mama that's like I can draw and trace, and so they're like directed drawings, and then there's this kind, and then there's animals, and then there's another one that I printed that's like a sentence one and a CVC word that I really like. And so I like those because I can easily differentiate, like my TKers get one, my kinders get one, and then my first graders who are at different levels get ones that are appropriate for them. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay, well, I'm gonna head out now because I gotta go to my appointment, but we made it through the day. We had a pretty good day. By the end of the day, I was so exhausted. I like asked one of my TAs, I was like, should I get Starbucks? And he was like, no. And I was really hoping that he was going to say yes, because I literally had Postmates open. I was about to order it. And then because he said no, I didn't do it. And now I have more energy, kind of. Still exhausted. So I'm going to go get my eyebrows done and go home. And then go to bed. So see you tomorrow. Hello, it is Wednesday. It's almost 3 o'clock. I'm sitting in my car about to go home. On Wednesdays, we normally have staff meetings, and I fully thought all day that there was a staff meeting, and then one of my girls' moms who works at school came to pick her up at 2:40, and I was like, oh yeah, we gotta go to the staff meeting. And she's like, there's no staff meeting. And wow, all day I was like, we have a staff meeting after school. I'm gonna get home so late, but nice. So yeah, today was another day. This morning we had so much screaming. One of my kids got real angry and scratched me in the face, pushed me, and smacked me. So we love that. And then at the end of the day, I was trying to get her to do iReady, which is like such a challenge. So I was just kind of like reading her the questions, and it was rhyming words, and I was like pressing it with her hand. But she was like touching my hair and climbing on top of me and touching my face. So, you know, just another day. But I did get one of my students who like normally refuses to do work. I wanted her to come do some work with me, and it wasn't in like a center group. It was just going to be by herself. And so she was like screaming no, and then she came over and she did it, and we did like these sound squish cards, and she did 5 of them, and I was just hoping for her to do like 1. So that was awesome. And yeah, and then I'm also kind of redoing like how I plan. I don't know, I feel like I need to do a whole nother video about how I plan. I don't know how combo teachers do it, because trying to plan for TKK and 1, and considering like all of their IEPs and their needs, and how like my first graders aren't all doing the same thing, because they all have different needs and they're all working on different things, and some are really high and some are, you know, just at different levels. So it's like really a challenge, and I have like a spreadsheet where I'm planning, but then now I also started like another document where I put them in groups that I think are going to be better based on their needs, not like by grade level. And then I like wrote down the things that I want them working on, and then I showed my TAs. So I like told them like, okay, I want you to run this group, just because like I cannot run all the groups and teach all of them, because so many of them need to be like when we do lessons, they need to be like one-on-one, because they just can't attend in a group. And like obviously I'm one person, I can't go around and teach 8 individual lessons to all my kids for every subject during the day. So we'll see how that works out next week or tomorrow. Okay, well, this video ended up being really long, so I'm gonna end it here. Maybe I'll do a part 2 and vlog tomorrow and Friday. We'll see, but if you're watching, thanks for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and remember to subscribe so you can see future videos. All right, bye.